Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 37 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. Wow, my blast furnace is still cooking. It's taking a little bit of a time, but that's okay. It's doing its thing and I'm happy for it. So blast furnace is doing what it has to do, trying to keep 15 blocks of steel stacked here. I'm doing my best to make sure that happens. And I think last episode we were playing with this nifty little gadget called the watering can. And we noticed that the watering can can be used here to kind of help grow my essence berries, and I'm pretty sure the effect will stack with the lamp of growth. So I told you guys I might look into automating that just a little bit, and I think I will, because that sounds like a lot of fun. So let's take a look at how we can do that. We can actually do it with some autonomous activators. Let's see if we have any extras in here. Guess not. So let's see what we need to make those again. I'm pretty sure I need like pneumatic servo thingies and pistons, right? Yeah. So I'm going to need 3. Sound about right? Okay. So 3 chests, pneumatic servos, pistons, and double that for 10. Cool. That should handle what we need. Okay. Pneumatic servos getting spit out everywhere. Pistons, here they come. Cool. Let's put together some autonomous activators. Now to go along with this, we're also going to need some item ducts. So let's get those. A dozen might do. We might need a couple more. If we do, we do. Cool. So let's see how we can automate this. What do you say? You know what I'm probably going to also need? Another bowl. And another bone meal. Because I want to get another watering can. We're going to need 2 of these for the way I have my farm set up. Shouldn't be too much of a problem to make another set of this. Cool. Alright, let's do it, shall we? Downstairs we go. Oh, you know what else I'll probably need? Is a bucket of water. Request a bucket. Cool. Alright, let's set this up in here, shall we? Alright, so let's do this, shall we? Let's say that we want to put our autonomous activators something like here. Now this guy, based on my testing, reaches about 2 blocks in front of it. It can also hit the blocks on the sides and behind, but because I want to keep this in the shape that I've already got it, we're just going to put 1 here and then also 1 here, so that these both will cover the entire area. Look good? So that should be able to handle that. Now what we're going to want to do here is set it so that the top of this block can output items. Well, maybe we want the back to output and the top can be input. That sounds like a plan. What do you think? Alright, so back output, top input. That doesn't sound bad. Maybe we want the sides. Just trying to figure out the best way, the most efficient way for this to go. Well, you know what we could do? We could do it through the bottom. That would probably be the best. Let's do that. Yeah, the back and the bottom. So that way there's no piping up here. So we can jump into Batmorph and sneak down underneath here. Cool. Oh, you know what I'm going to need then is some covers to prevent things from connecting. Let's get some. Cover, please. 20 should be about 18 more than I need, but always grab a few extra, you never know. Alright, so with all this piping and stuff down here, yeah, it's going to be a little tricky. So compact of a build to make. Give me a minute to figure out how I want this to go. Alright guys, I think I've got something that'll work here. So basically, first off, we've got an autonomous activator right down here facing a water pool. Remember, we need to fill up these watering cans when they're empty with water. And as you use them, they'll empty out and you have to refill them. So that's what we're going to have that for. We'll set that up in a minute to demonstrate. Secondly, we want to be able to pump in and out of this thing. So we want to set these sides to be blue, and out the back we'll pull out. Okay, so what we're going to say is, watering cans go out the bottom here. Okay, like this. Yeah, that should work. Or do I want to push it back further? I might want to swap this around, as a matter of fact. That might not be a bad idea. Let's do that. Let's put you here. There you go, you there. and you like that. Cool. And this way it'll at least kind of be in the back of the area. It'll just look a little bit nicer. Putting some covers up there, make sure things are nice and protected from each other. All right, probably want these guys here because these are going to go up here. Cool. And this can be covered with this. That should be good. And then a similar deal over here. Cover this thing, and you can get covered up like that, and then I think we're in good shape. All right, so I'm probably going to definitely need more item ducts, so let's just request a few things, like hardened glass. We're going to want, I don't know, 4, and tin, we'll get 8. That shouldn't be much of a problem, just so we can make a few more of these things. There we go. Gotta love being able to craft when you're a bat and on the ground. Oops. You, and then craft. There we go. That should be enough. So let's say we want to pull items out. So this is going to go down here. You know what else we're going to need is a couple more pneumatic servos. We're going to need like 3 or 4 of these. Just get 6. That sound good? I don't know if that's how many I'm going to need, but we'll see. Okay, you can go there like that. And what I'm thinking then is kind of would like to keep this thing nice and separated, but let's see how well it works going like this. We'll see if this works. If it doesn't, oh well, we'll deal with it. All right, so the only thing we want to pull out of these things is an empty can. So let's get this set up. So when you're pulling items out, the only thing we want to do is whitelist, empty can. We'll use NBT, because I'm not sure if this stores an NBT or metadata or whatever, but we'll just use everything. All right, and you need to be turned that way. Then we want to set this guy up, and then the only thing that you will whitelist going in will be a full watering can. Cool? Okay. You will only accept going in an empty can. You will only pull out a full can. Use NBT. Did I use NBT over here? Yeah. And then over here, this guy will only whitelist going in an empty can. Cool? All right. And use NBT. Whitelist, empty can. I could have probably done this with less pneumatic servos if I used covers and more item ducts. It's kind of 6 to 1, half dozen the other, whichever way you want to go. Request another one of these guys. And while that's going, you are pulling out an empty can, whitelist, use NBT. And you are allowing in, whitelist, a full can. Use NBT and metadata. Okay, cool. So that should work. Now the only other thing that we're going to do here, which is kind of new, is we're going to set this guy here to pull out. And then when we set him to pull out, we set this guy to round robin. What that's going to do is it's going to alternate which inventories it puts stuff in. So it takes turns putting items into the different inventories here. Make sense? I want to have your aim level be low, and the same for this guy over here, because because we want it kind of facing downwards. So let's make that aim level low. So let's see. If I were to place my empty watering can in here, he should get turned into a full can. And then all I have to do is set this guy to enabled low. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull the can out and it's going to send it one direction. Now the next full watering can that comes out of here is going to go the other direction, or so I thought, but it's not. So what are you doing? Full watering can. So you are doing something that I didn't expect you to do. Round robin, you should have done this right. So what did I do wrong? You, full can. That all looks right. Let's take these guys out of here again. Set this guy to low. And we're going to put them both in here and just see what happens. Because this should balance out and go, there we go. That's what I would have expected it to do. So we're going to keep an eye on this thing. But then what should happen now is we'll have these things going. Let's get out of here. It's not too bad. So these guys should be watering. And this should be increasing the speed at which this stuff operates. Cool. I'll keep an eye on it for a moment. Yeah, guys, I'm watching now, and it's definitely cruising. I mean, look at all these berries getting produced. That's awesome. Yeah. Nice. So that's it. We've got watering cans in here, and we've automated refilling them with a thing underneath. So this should work pretty well. I'm going to keep an eye on it for a little bit, make sure the round robin's working the way I want it to. But overall, I think we'll have an even faster production of these essence berries. So hooray for that, because that is good stuff. Nice. There we go. Cool. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Oh, you know what? There's one thing else that we should probably do, and that is set this guy to use first slot only. So that way it won't alternate through all the slots, and it'll only use the item in the first slot. Yeah, I forgot about that. But man, look how fast those things are growing. That is cool. Cruising. All right. All right, just requesting a bunch of slime and wool. Come here, you guys. Let's go. There should be more wool coming. Probably coming a long distance from my sheep farm, but that's not a problem. Sponges. More and more sponges. Let's grab our suit here and head back to the nether, where we've got some expensive items to go find. Alright, I found another area here that I want to start looking around in underground. Let's go jump into some lava. And remember, this only works if you're wearing the full suit. If you happen to be wearing anything other than, you know, any piece of article here of clothing missing, you're not going to have a good time with this. So trust me, full suit of this armor will keep you safe. Alright, let's see what we can find. If I want to be nice and conservative about this, I should kind of space out where I place these. We're seeing a lot of this dirt stuff here from Natura, and I'm not sure, to be honest with you, if what I'm looking for will be able to spawn in the dirt. I don't know if it only replaces netherrack, so I'm kind of looking for a spot where there's like a lot of netherrack on the ground. Well, there's some of that stuff. Let's see. Kind of stinks that I lose this every time I do it, but gotta do what you gotta do. That's the price of awesome items. And believe me, this Firestone is going to be well worth the trouble finding. Hey, there we go. Cool. Alright, I'm not sure if I'm going to find it in the tainted soil, so I'd really like to find a spot where there's some netherrack on the surface of the floor. So let me go find some of that, and I'll be back. Alright, I stand corrected. Finally, just found my first piece of Firestone ore. Nice. Look at that. So it is pretty rare, and it does appear to spawn in place of Natura tainted soil, so that's not too much of a problem. So I think we're in good shape. I wouldn't mind finding another one, just because I've got all these extra sponges on me now. So no problem spawning within tainted soil. I wasn't sure if it only had to be within like netherrack area or if tainted soil would work, but apparently tainted soil's fine. So no cause for concern. Cool. Alright, probably not going to find any more. I think, you know what, I lucked out. I found a good amount. I got one. That's pretty much all you really need. Let's head back home. So let me get out of this here nasty lava lake before I lose all my stuff, because that would be very unfortunate. And then I'll meet you guys back at the base where we're going to start processing this Firestone ore. Now, the only thing to keep in mind is this Firestone ore is so hot that it does have the potential to create fires. Oh, look at that little nasty little thing there. Little evil creatures. Alright, let's switch out of this suit. I threw everything into my ender pouch just to be extra safe because I was starting to get nervous jumping around in lava. I'm like, man, if I die here, I'm going to be in trouble. So I threw everything into my orange pouch. Let's just pull everything back out and fly home. Meet you guys there. So I'm going to show you guys something on camera real quick because I have no idea how this happened. But apparently my nether portal now exits out under this cave over here. I don't even know where it is or how it's different from like over here. But for some reason, my nether portal in the nether now exits over here. I didn't change anything, and the nether portal just, you know, all of a sudden being weird. So I might need to find an alternate way to get back and forth between the nether. And you can see fires starting around me. That's because I have this Firestone ore. Burning everything except flesh, you can feel the air change around you as you hold it. So yes, it actually does start fires. So if you have a wooden house, do not walk into the wooden house carrying this thing. To be safe, you can toss it in like an ender pouch or something, and then it'll kind of be secured because it's in an inventory instead of in your inventory. So I'll meet you guys back at my base in a moment. So there's only one block in all of Minecraft at the moment that can handle the processing of this crazy Firestone ore, and that would be the rock crusher. There is nothing else that you can do with this Firestone ore but throw it into a rock crusher. So a rock crusher is a multi-block structure, courtesy of Railcraft, and it's one of the ore doubling mechanics. Oh boy, we are getting low on diamonds. How am I so low on diamonds? Where'd they all go? I couldn't have used that many for stuff, could I? We're gonna have to go mining again soon. Alright, pistons, we're also going to need about a dozen pistons. And then steel, we're going to need 3 of. Good thing I was making steel all this time, huh? Yeah, Direwolf, he kind of tends to think ahead sometimes. There we go, getting a whole bunch of stuff. Do need more diamonds, though. Alright, so 3 by 2 by 2. So we need 12 total rock crusher blocks. So 3 sets of 4 should get us, boom, 12. Alright, we're also going to need some conduits, some energy conduits. Oh good, we've got a lot of these at the moment. 32, should be plenty. Probably don't need that many, but it's good to have a few extra. No idea where I'm going to put this thing down here. It's another ore processing machine. You can use it to double pretty much most of your ores. So if we took a look here, let's see, we could say, for example, sand. Rock crusher. So you can pulverize like gravel and you get sand with a less than 1% chance of getting diamond out of it. So very rarely can you get extra stuff. You can also have less than 1% chance of getting a gold nugget out of your gravel. So there's a bunch of different rock crusher recipes. You can kind of flip through them here to see all kinds of crazy stuff you can get. Pretty good stuff. Tons and tons of pages of it. Let's see, where do I want to put this thing? That's a good question. Just got machines all over the place, don't I? Items flowing everywhere. How do we feel about it being in the floor? That sounds like a nice spot. So like I said, 3 by 2 by 2. Ta-da! Rock crusher. Cool. So let's snag our Firestone here, our Firestone ore, and throw it into the rock crusher. So it does need Minecraft jewels, it needs Buildcraft energy, which, you know, redstone flux transforms into, and you'll get your rock crusher, and you'll get it running, and there we go. Raw Firestone. It quickens in your hands, you can feel it in the very air around you. So this thing, now that it's been processed, will still, start fires. Bad fires. Stop starting fires. Yeah, be careful with this thing. I'm not kidding. It has a pretty decent range, it looks like. Alright, sounds like we got everything under control. Alright, what's next in the processing of this thing? Oh boy, we need a lot more diamonds. In order to process this into a cut Firestone, we're going to need to go ahead and cut it up with some diamond pickaxes. 4 diamond pickaxes to be exact. So we're going to need about a dozen of these things. Great. More diamonds are needed, and that's exactly what I'm apparently low on. Can't believe I'm low on diamond. I could have sworn I had more of that stuff. I must have been using it more than I thought. Alright, back in a minute. Got to figure out how I'm going to get some more diamonds going on. So, believe it or not, I had to go mining. Yep, I know, I recently ran a quarry, and that's what I was telling you guys about. Quarries, while very good at taking care of stuff, you will be surprised how quickly you can run out of the ores and stuff that you get from that quarry. So, looks like I'm going to have to set up another kind of, ore generation system. Now, obviously, I could just run a quarry again, or I could come up with something more interesting and fun. Probably the latter. Where's a shovel? I must have a shovel. Oh, excavator, that'll work. Alright, I'll be back in a minute after I've mined a little bit more. I still need more diamonds. Well, it wasn't my most successful mining run ever, but I definitely got enough diamonds to get going. So, without further ado, let's get ourselves 4 diamond pickaxes. Okay, so just grab our raw Firestone here and surround it with a handful of pickaxes. There we go. That'll get us a cut Firestone. Its energies still rage out of control. So fire's still around you. For that, we're going to need to upgrade it to a refined Firestone. We're going to need 4 buckets of lava and 4 redstone blocks. Okay, shouldn't be a problem. Redstone blocks are handy nearby. I've got plenty. So we're going to need 4 of them. And we're also going to need 4 buckets. So let's get, can I get all 4? No. So I never taught this system how to make buckets. That's all right. We'll just go ahead and craft some. Alright, so that's going to be that. You guys can go here. 1. There's my redstone and 1 more bucket. And I know where to get some lava. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Alright, Firestone, you're with me. Right into the table you go. And where did these guys go? So redstone around, and then lava bucket. 1, 2, 3, 4. Aha, refined Firestone. All right, so now I can actually start using this thing as a fuel source, right? No, we have to do one more step. In order to get this Firestone to be usable, we have to charge it. Right now you can see it's got 0 charge, right? So you can see the energy meter is super low. Let me kill this nasty looking spider before I have a problem. Ah, I hate these little baby spiders. Alright, we're good. How to charge it? Well, it's real simple. You just gotta toss it in lava. Now, you might be afraid to toss an item into lava, as you probably should be, but don't worry, the refined Firestone should be able to handle it. Just drop it in. Uh-oh, where'd it go? There it is. Ta-da! Now it's going to absorb the energy of the lava nearby and charge it. What it's going to do is convert all the lava, in a pretty large radius at that, directly into obsidian. And that obsidian will just be sitting there ready to be, harvested if you want. And then all the fire and heat energy from that lava will be absorbed into the magical structure that is the refined Firestone. So this thing is going to be very useful for us in the near future. It does take a little while to fully charge up though. I think it uses up and stores like, is it 5,000 blocks? I think it is. So keep that in mind. It's got a pretty decent charge. Let's see if I can see Firestone in here. Does it tell me? Yeah, it charges 5,000 out of 5,000. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's 1 lava source block per charge. But we're going to see. We should have a pretty good amount. Now you can see it's also drawing lava out from underneath this lake. So it's not going to just grab the top layer. It'll actually dig down to the lower levels. So if we were to clear out a piece of obsidian here, we should see some more obsidian below it. See, so it is not just getting the top layer of lava, it's actually pulling lava from below as well. And you can see it all kind of, flowing in. So we'll be back in a minute once this thing is fully charged up. I am not kidding you guys when I tell you that this does take a little bit of time to charge, but I think once you stop seeing particle effects flowing into it, you should be pretty much done. Let's see. Just give it a good old hit, and 5,000 out of 5,000, that's what I wanted to see. All right, heading back to the home base. Alright then, so I'm looking around in my basement on where I might want to put this steam boiler, and it occurs to me that I'm getting a little crowded here. I mean, I could just kind of place it right in the middle of the room or start putting stuff, but then I wind up basically covering things up. It doesn't look so hot, so I think what I might do is build a sub-basement. That might not be a bad idea. So all I got to do is throw another elevator here, and I've got 2 levels worth of elevator travel. Haha, how cool, right? So I'm thinking maybe I just clear out some space down here. So I'll be back in a minute once I've got that done. Alright, let's cross our fingers that I don't break anything when I do this. But I think I've got it to the point where it won't run into any existing cables and wires. I'll probably, it looks like, run into some kind of cave system, but we're going to see what we get. So cross your fingers that it's not too bad. Nope, I wanted you here, and then you there, and then the left side here can be orange, and you just need to be set to clear. There we go. Cool. Back in a minute. Hey, this isn't too bad. I can clean this up. Did make a wrath lamp real quick, and we should be able to, right around the center-ish of the room, pop this guy. That'll make it nice and well lit. Cool. Alright, let me just make some walls here. I do have a builder's wand for a reason. I grabbed some smooth stone. We're going to clean this area up. Alright, that looks pretty good, right? Yeah. Get out of here, Mr. Bat. I'll let the light mage hang out. He's not hurting nothing yet. So that's going to be not too bad, I think. We can definitely hang out with this thing close. And down here will kind of be a power generation room. So what I'll probably wind up doing is disassembling some of this stuff, like the steam dynamo. This is just less efficient use of charcoal. Once we get a steam boiler up and running, these dynamos will be able to be much more efficient from a steam boiler than from the dynamos having charcoal inserted in them directly. We're also going to have, we'll probably leave the magmatic stuff here for a bit. No sense in disassembling that. I mean, that's all working and doing exactly what we want it to do. Otherwise, I think we're in pretty good shape. I never really did clean up much down here, did I? Yeah, not too shabby. So we've got some basic stuff going on. What I'll wind up doing is down here building a whole power system. So we'll probably have some industrial crafts power, we'll have some buildcraft power, we'll have some thermal expansion power, and any other power systems that we need to implement down here in this basement. Sound like a plan? Alright, so I think the next thing we need to start looking at is a steam boiler. So we only have like a minute or two left really in the episode here to kind of wrap up. So what I'm going to do is start getting some of the components that are required for a steam boiler so I can show you guys what's involved. So a steam boiler is going to require a few things. So first off, we're going to want some either low or high pressure boiler tanks. Now there's a bunch of different sizes we can have, the largest size being 3 by 3 by 4, and it's not hollow. So we're going to need 36 of these high pressure boiler tanks, and those will produce 10 millibuckets of steam per tick. Now low pressure boilers can produce 20 millibuckets of steam per tick. I think that's actually reversed on that tooltip because the high pressure boiler should be producing more than the low, so that might be just a typo or something. But basically what we can do with these is produce a large amount of steam, and then we can use that for either industrial steam engines, which produce Minecraft joules, or we can put it into a steam dynamo, which produces the redstone flux energy. And finally, the other option we have is the steam turbine. That guy is going to allow us to create industrial craft energy. And we can also power some machines directly with steam, like the steam oven, which we will be making. Now, all of these require large amounts of steel. So, for example, the high pressure boiler requires 2 steel plates, and a steel plate is basically 1 steel ingot. So, in order to get 36 of these high pressure boilers, we're going to need, what, 72 pieces of steel? Yeah, that's going to be a little bit expensive. Luckily, I have a bunch of this stuff cooking up downstairs. I've been kind of doing my best to keep a large amount of blocks of steel handy. I told it to only keep, what I say, like 10 or 15 in here, but we're going to have a higher demand right away, so I threw a couple extra iron blocks in. Not a big deal. We've got plenty of iron, I think. Now I'm second guessing myself based on diamonds. Yeah. So then what are we going to do? From there, we'll just run some steam throughout the base, powering whatever needs to be powered, and we might clean up some of our powering systems because it is a little bit messy right now. So maybe, in the next episode, we'll kind of clean up our power systems and convert everything directly to steam power. Sound pretty cool? And we will eventually have to get into some nuclear power from industrial craft because while steam power is all great and everything, we're definitely going to need more power than that. And with that, guys, I'm sorry to say, but we have hit the wrapping up point for this episode. So next episode, I'll prepare ahead of time. Let's actually grab a couple steel. Let's grab, like, I don't know, not that many. Let's grab 4 of these steel, like that. And I can just convert them directly instead of waiting for the auto crafting to occur. So that's going to be half of what I need. So we're actually going to need 4 more of these guys. And that's just going to be for the steam boiler itself. So we'll start getting this thing running over here. It's not too hard to make. Just convert these like that, and there. Cool. So that'll make me the steel plates that are required for the high pressure boiler. We're going to need some steam engines, which are all steel. And we're going to need some steam turbines, which is a lot of steel. You can see this thing is a 3x2x2, so we're going to need 12 of these, I guess, right? Yeah, and that's a lot. So we're going to need like 16 blocks of steel just for the steam turbine housings. So that's going to be pretty expensive. Overall, we're looking at a lot of steel required. So it's going to take a while for that to cook, so I'll leave it off camera, and then next episode we'll be back to let that wrap up. All right, guys, Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Next episode, lots of steam-powered stuff. All right, guys, take it easy.